What's up, guys? Today we are going to swap out the engine air filters in the C63s. I got K&N replacement high flow air filters, which I'll be installing, and I'll be showing you guys step by step on how to replace them if you guys are looking to do the same thing. So let's get the car pulled into the garage and then we'll get it started. So the engine air filters are located here and here. What we'll have to do is unscrew these screws right here. If you can see that, a screw right there, a screw right there, a screw right there, and a screw right there. That's the T25 Torx. And then we'll have to loosen up these clamps right here to allow this to flop open. And then we'll have to pinch this clip right here to allow this hose to come off. You could also probably do it without the hose, but we're going to see what we can do with it. And that's really it. It's an easy process. It's nothing too difficult. And then also we'll have to come over here and pry this off. And we'll have to unhook that clip. And I'll show you guys how to do that when we get into it. So let me get the tools ready and let's get it started. Alright guys, so this is what you'll need for the engine air filter swap. You'll need your replacement air filters. I'm going with K&N high flow air filters. These are probably one of the best known brands that are aftermarket parts. What you'll also need is some channel locks to help you pry off the clamps that hold down the air hose. You'll need a flathead screwdriver to loosen up the clamps around the air filter, and then you'll need a T25 Torx bit with some type of an extension to make it easier. This is a 1/4 inch, and then you'll need a driving ratchet wrench. Alright, so what I did so far is unscrew these screws. What you got to do is unscrew it, and then it'll pass through this bottom portion. Then you want to just kind of get it snug right there so it doesn't catch and fall back down. So that's how you do those, and loosen those. Give you guys a better idea of this. So with this clip, this is an air sensor clip. What you'll have to do is see this pin right here. You have to push this pin up, and then you'll have to push this pin up here, and you'll need a little prying tool, so let me go get that. What you'll need to do is hit this clip right here, and then that will loosen it off. So that's how you get that out. Make sure your tools are all in a good space and they're not going to fall into the engine, so I'm kind of putting them right here. But now that we have this clip out, you can now take this wire and kind of pry it back, put it somewhere. That should be good. And now this can start moving up, but we still got to come over here, get this pin released, and unscrew these, loosen these up, and then this should allow this to fold up. So the hose is a little tricky to get off. It's pretty well snug on there. So that's the hose removed. This is the clamp. That's the clamp that holds it. There's a little pin that you can snap it back to keep it open, and then once you want to tighten it back on there, you just hit that. Then it'll tighten back up. So this is all removed. So this is all ready to fly open. Alright, so that's one air filter open, and it doesn't look like this one's in there pretty well. Let's take a look. Wow, so that's not very pleasing, but the OEM air filter looks like it came damaged. That's not very cool, Mercedes. That's not cool at all. Well, it's a good thing I'm changing this right now, because that doesn't look like that would have lasted for 10,000 miles. Alright, so comparing the replacement air filters, the K&Ns, to the stock OEM filters, you can see right away that this is just paper. It's not very perforated, and I mean, it probably does the best job in filtering, but you're getting a lot of air restriction. And on top of that, I mean, look at how this air filter was even in my car. Not good, Mercedes. Not good at all. Again, it's a good thing I'm replacing these, because I don't know what that would have done through 10,000 miles. A lot of dust and dirt would have gotten into the car. But that's why you don't pay MSRP on cars. You just never know, you know, the issues and stuff that you might come into. So yeah, that's the OEM air filter, which will be going in the garbage, and then we'll be putting this one in here. So another thing you want to do is, when you're replacing these air filters, you want to just double check and see if there's any dirt, anything that's in there. I mean, looks like some small stuff has gotten in there a little bit, but that's probably because of that damaged filter. So hopefully that won't repeat itself with these new ones. But that's the inside of the manifold, and we'll be slapping the new one in there right now. And just so you guys can see, if you guys can catch that, you can see it's pretty shiny. That's the oil that's on the filter to help with catching dirt and dust and all that stuff. Because these are high flowing, you can kind of see through them. You can see, if I point it out in the sun, you can see the light come through. So that just shows you that they're not like cardboard paper, they're just some cloth. But the oil is meant to help them catch any extra dirt. And these are supposed to last for the lifetime of the vehicle. They're reusable, washable, so you really don't have to buy a new filter after this. Alright, so same thing with the other side. You got to loosen up the screws right here. These are all Torx 25 screws. And then you want to raise them up to the point where they get stuck on the last lip right here, so that they don't fall back in. And then again, to remove this sensor right here, you just want to come over here, push this button, and then the cap falls off. And again, same thing, you want to push this clip out. That's the locking clip, and then down here there's a little clip that you want to pop up, and then it'll slide out. So again, take this back clip right here, push it out, and then hit this clip underneath. And there you go. That's how you get sensor off, tuck it away, and then again, release this clamp, loosen up these two, and then you're good to go. Alright, so that hose actually came off a lot more easier, that being my second time doing it. So let's go ahead and flip this up. You might also need to use a Phillips to pry it open. I guess I didn't fully unscrew that screw, so let me go ahead and do that. Alright. Make sure your screws are fully unscrewed. Alright, so looks like we have one good filter. That's at least. So you can already see there's some dirt already caught up in there. So this filter seems to be pretty good. It doesn't have any damage to it. So looks like they got half of it right. But again, just to compare, this is just your cardboard, not very high flowing, cheap OEM filters. Again, this one with the damage. So the last filter I'm going to change is the cabin air filter. I decided to do this after the fact, so that's why I'm wearing different clothes. So this video was shot 2 days later, but I just wanted to include this in the same video. So basically this is just the cabin air filter. Here's the model number, if that gets clear. So it's a washable, reusable one. It was only 42 bucks. So considering, you know, every time you go to the dealership and you have them install a new one, stock OEM one, and then the time it costs to do that, you know, that's a lot of money. So this $42 one time will save itself, you know, over the long run of the car. But yeah, so it's pretty easy to install this. There's only a couple clips, no tools required, so it's only like 2 minutes to change this thing out. So I'll show you guys how it's done. To remove this cover, it's pretty easy. You just have these little pins right here that you'll just twist to unlock. So that's one. And then you got another one right here. So now that that's loose, you can pry this open like that. And the cabin air filter is right here. And it literally just clips off, which I'll show you right now. And there's some hinges back there that it sits on. That's pretty easy to come off. There's just a couple clips that it snaps into and then it just hangs on those. So this is the OEM filter. It's good to see that this one isn't damaged like the engine air filter was, but so it's pretty easy. This is the housing, and then inside, that's how the air gets in, right there. And you can clean that too if there's any debris. I don't see any, so I think it's all good. So now that we have the filter off, it's pretty easy to take off. You just gotta get it past these clips that hold it in place. Just pretty simple. That's it. That is the stock OEM filter. If it'll focus, there you go. So these are one directional, so if you do end up just getting another stock one, make sure you install it the right way. And I'll show you the arrows on which way to put the filter. So, and just to kind of give you a little comparison of the both filters, you can see this is the stock cardboard paper. Well, this one's kind of like a fabric makeup. And this is the K&N reusable air filter, and it doesn't look well. Yeah, I guess it is slightly oiled too, so this one is also slightly oiled to help catch more of the dirt and debris. So that's the filter in, back inside, and it's as easy as just coming back over here, getting it hooked up. Clips. So yeah, that's how easy it is to change the cabin air filter. I highly recommend it. It's very easy, and again, you can save money because then now you don't have to keep buying these cheap replacement ones. And yeah, it's definitely worth it. So the last thing that I wanted to show you guys, and I forgot to on the engine air filter swap, is the stickers that you got to place somewhere that it's visible so that the mechanic working on your car, whenever you do take it to go get serviced, doesn't mistakenly swap out your K&N air filters. So this one I'm going to slap on top of the housing right here so that it's visible whenever the guy does it. So yeah, that's pretty. These come with the filters. And again, it doesn't void your vehicle's warranty, so that's also a great thing. Guys, that was a quick install of the engine air filters. Again, I highly recommend doing it. If I wouldn't have done it, then I would have even caught that the stock OEM filters were damaged like that. So it was probably a good thing that I did it. I wasn't going to do it at first because I wasn't really sure and I didn't really want to, but I'm glad I looked into it and did it. So these filters are lifetime. They're reusable. They can be rewashed. So whenever you go to the dealership, make sure you tell them. It does come with stickers. It comes with these stickers right here that you can place on it, which I'm about to place on the manifold to let whenever I go to get it serviced to not touch the air filters. So because they're K&Ns and they can be reused. So that's really it, guys. I appreciate it. Comment, like, subscribe. I'll be dropping more content here soon. The weather's getting better here in Georgia, so I'll catch you guys later. Before we go, though, I'm going to go ahead and crank up the car and see if it does add to the sound and see how it's running. So let's do a little test run here. Turn the car on with the new filters. We'll see how it goes.